Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom. Okay, so I wanted to get into a lesson starting off in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter and the 4th verse. So Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson to the elect. So I'll go ahead and I'll get straight into it. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, and to him is speaking about the angel. Okay, continuing on. Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. And we understand the word people before a place. So we know that this is speaking about the nation of Israel. Okay, continuing on. And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And when you go into that word mark in the Hebrew, it's the wa, which means exempt from judgment. Okay, so we know that this mark in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4 will be placed upon the elect. Okay, so I read that again. And it says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay, like I just mentioned, that word mark in Hebrew is the wa, which means exempt from judgment, and it's going to be placed upon the elect of the nation of Israel. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. We call ourselves the hopeful elect. Okay, we are the ones that truly sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, man. Okay, every day we get up in this place, man. Okay, every morning you see this place is extremely vexing, man. Okay, you see that wickedness is going forth throughout the earth, man. Okay, you see that the wicked philosophies of this place has been spread throughout the earth. Okay, you see that homosexuality is being heavily pushed and promoted, transgenderism, bestiality, feminism. Okay, all these things is contrary to the ways of the Lord. Is being heavily pushed and promoted from this place, man, under the rulership of Esau, Edom, man. Okay, we are the ones that's constantly sighing and crying when we go out to the highways and byways and make our bodies a living sacrifice, as the scripture goes into in Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. We're sighing and crying, man. Okay, and we're doing our lessons, doing our sit downs. Okay, we're sighing and crying, man, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, asking the Lord, how long, man? Okay, so we're the ones that's truly sighing and crying, man. Okay, so I'll continue on. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 5. And to the others, he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. That's right. So the ones of you that don't have that mark that it speaks about in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, which is the wine in Hebrew, which means exempt from judgment. We know that the angels, they're going to get busy on you, man. Okay, you're going to be left out here to get put to death, man. Okay. Continuing on. So we know you won't be protected, man. Okay. So I'll continue on. As the scripture goes to in Psalms chapter 34 and verse 7 about how the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him. And a lot of you don't fear the Lord, man. Okay. So you're going to get destroyed. Okay. And it says, and delivered them. Okay. Roughly paraphrasing. All right. So I'll continue on. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. That's right. So it doesn't matter if you're old or you're young, you're a child, okay, you're a woman, okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, if you don't have that mark that it speaks about in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, which is the wine in Hebrew, which means exempt from judgment, we know that you're certainly going to get destroyed, man. Okay, you're not going to be protected and you won't get delivered up out of this place, man. Okay, so I read this from the top again. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. So we understand the ones that's going to have that mark that it speaks about in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, they're going to be protected, man. Okay, continuing on. And begin at my sanctuary, then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. So we know that judgment will begin with our people, man. Okay, so let me go ahead and get what else I had. Let me go and get this in 1 Peter. Okay, the 4th chapter. And I'll start at the 17th verse. This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. So we know that judgment will begin with us. Okay. The ones of you that know that you're Israelites, the ones of you of the circumcision. Okay. Judgment will begin with us, man. Okay. Continuing on. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? So we understand, man, the ones of you that obey not the gospel of the Most High, you're certainly going to get destroyed, man. Okay, continuing on, this is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved. Okay, so we know that the righteous, they're going to scarcely be saved. Okay, and when you go into scarcely, man, it goes into almost not, man. Okay. That's how bad it's going to become out here during the time of Jacob's trouble, man. So the righteous is going to scarcely be saved. I'll continue on. Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? We know that you're certainly going to get destroyed. If the righteous is going to scarcely be saved, almost not, okay? We know that you're certainly going to get destroyed, man. Okay? So let me go ahead and get this in Zechariah, the 13th chapter, and I'll start the 8th verse. This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, we know that land is speaking about America, which is Babylon the Great. Continuing on, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. That's right. So we know 2/3 of our people will be cut off here in America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, they're going to die here, man. Okay, continuing on. But the third shall be left therein. That's right, says, but the third shall be left therein. And we understand that the third is speaking about the elect. The 1/3 is speaking about the elect that's here in America, which is Babylon the Great, man. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll get what else I had. Let me get this in Isaiah, the 26th chapter, and I'll start at the 20th verse. This is Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. Okay, and we understand that the chambers are speaking about the chariots, man. Okay, continuing on. And who are the people that's going to be able to enter into those chambers, into the chariot? The elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, continuing on. And shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. That's right. So we know that the elect, they're going to be beamed up into the chariot when the Lord returned with the innumerable amount of angels and the chariots with him. And they're going to be able to see the great destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, from the chariot. Okay, so Lord willing, we be a part of that number. We call ourselves the hopeful elect. Okay, we know that the Lord will protect us and ultimately deliver us up out of this place. Okay, but we know that 2/3 of our people will be cut off here in America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, even though we know that the scripture goes into it in Romans chapter 11 and verse 26 about how all Israel shall be saved as it is written. Okay, so how is it that all our people will be saved as it is written if we know that 2/3 of our people will be cut off here in America, which is Babylon the Great? Because 2/3 of our people, they're going to come back in the kingdom of heaven as newborn babes, man. Okay, in their right minds. Okay, so that's how all Israel will be saved as it is written, pursuant to Romans chapter 11 and verse 26. Okay, so Lord willing, we be a part of that number. We don't have anything to worry about, man. Okay, we know that the Lord will protect us and ultimately deliver us up out of this place, man. We just got to continue to do the things that's required of us, man. Continuing to remain spiritually minded during these times. Okay, as the scripture goes into in Romans chapter 8 and verse 6, to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace, man. And doing these lessons, going out to camp, praying, fasting, okay, doing all the things that's pleasing to the Lord, that's being spiritually minded during these times, man, which is going to lead you to life, man. Okay, doing all the things that's required of you, man, all the things that's been commanded of us, all the things that's pleasing to the Lord. Okay, so with that said, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the elect. And I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.